So here, folks, very interesting topic, but there are some tutorials about that already. But here's another example. So you see that I have shape keys here. Well, don't see because here. So I'm making this bone to as a driver bone for shape keys here on this melt expression. That also has armature deform, but we can also combine them if we want with some improvements on for more variation of melt expression. So for example, here is a delta case, which is a combined axis. Often in some cases the X and Z axis, but it depends on the rig. We need to create some sort of diagonal axis which doesn't exist by default. It's just the orthogonal 3-axis, right? Blender doesn't understand diagonal axis unless we make some sort of delta thing here, which is just a combination of two variables in a multiplication pattern, just like that, right? So variation var A, so just var times var B. So basically here what I'm getting is that this is called, it's not very intuitive, but this is called I have a tall which does this, is just this local Z of this bone. So the mouth start here, see, and then I move this GZ, it's aligned with global space, but okay, we can get local here. And there is this purse, so I took from another tutorial this idea, and so we can have this. But when we combine the GZ at maximum with the GX at maximum, never mind here this rotation, because this bone has a limit distance, so it makes this rounded, but it doesn't matter. The thing here is that if we move the maximum Z, let's say would be that, and the maximum Z actually up, and maximum X, I think it's a negative X, anyways, the maximum, we got a bad result usually, because this needs a delta. So disable the delta, which is a delta purse tail. That means delta purse when we have this, and delta and the tall, which is this. So when they start to combine, things may be looking well until we reach the diagonal limit, which makes things a bit awkward, right, in many ways, and the mesh is really not very good. So that happens all the time. You name it. It is even in you need to correct the delta, and if you don't know the technique, it can be quite complicated. And there's many parts of organic rigging on the body that delta coming as a solution, not only for shape keys, for armature deform setups also. So here, but the ways to achieve this, usually it can be with drivers. Usually the driver is a good, reliable way. So if I enable this, let's see what I have here. Okay, it's the var plus, let's go here instead. So you see that I have var A, which is the purse. This is exactly the same variable, the purse, and then times B, which is exactly the same as tall. So the Z, local Z. The bone is the same, the armature is the same, right? It's just the one is the local X. It doesn't differentiate between negative or positive. So this is why, to make this differentiation, I had to place a negative here. This negative could be in the var, I think. So this is the purse. So that means that the bone on the negative will come here. It will always be negative. I don't know how to explain that, but that is the affecting in this direction. And the other direction will do something else, because the other direction, and so they don't interfere with one with each other. It will be the wide. So yeah, you see it's positive. So this negative could be, I think, could be here, right? So I think it doesn't matter. And here those values, you can approximate, close them here. It will work. I them the same way. Yeah, exactly. So note that this 4 value here, integer, is just to facilitate. It's a multiplier constant so that the bone achieves this faster. Otherwise, yeah, you know, there's a lot of tutorials explaining that. Otherwise, we wouldn't reach a very good value here as I move this because of world distance. You see, it's not, I have to move the bone a lot more to reach that, and if the bone is bone constrained to a certain distance, for instance, then I just cannot reach the maximum, you see. So I've decided to lock this distance, and another way to achieve this would be a limit location, but I decided to use this. Someone gave me this idea in life. So here it is a good idea. It's a bit strange for this the delta, but it does, in this setup it is working because this acts according to the multiplication of the two values, this maximum here. So anyways, so going back here to the delta thing, this was a nightmarish to set up, to model, because if we turn this off, I had to handle oh, there's a lot of, let's reset this. If we have this and this, okay, let's, to simplify, let's turn this off. So I have this and this, so I had to make the delta shape key on top of this madness. So that was very, very tough, but just hard work, right? Nothing special, just need to fix that. So I fixed that with the delta on this combination of, say, 1 and 1, burst 1 and tall 1, that I've created an extra shape key here, put it on maximum, then edit mode, I use this, but I think it's not necessary, there will be other ways. Then I edited that. Sculpt mode also can help, but I'm more familiar with edit mode. Then after this was solved, the terrible mesh, I would have shared this process, but just watch the stream, you'll see how long that takes. That in the video description you'll find the link to the actual this actual process. And then the delta here basically is just what I've already explained. So in this case, I don't understand totally, but in the end this will be just a one negative, and it's basically, you have to multiply 4 by 4, not negative 4 by negative 4, just 4 by 4, and so that would create the necessary conditions for this oops, the G's X G so here, because if we don't have anything here, it's not sufficient. If we just have 4, I just need to repeat, actually it's negative, sorry folks, I can type here, so negative, I can place this there, negative, but you see that it takes a lot. Well, it doesn't take a lot, so maybe it's because of this. Okay, let's say here, so this is, it's in range, but you see it's not doing the, sorry folks, let's do this. Oh, because I've changed, I think I've messed up everything. So here folks, let's get the, did I change this value? Yeah, I changed. Okay, so multiply, sorry, that was, and also here, okay, this is this, and here, so you see this is not getting enough power as I get in the diagonal here. and even with disabled bone constraint, yeah, I'll need to pull it more to the Z and more to the X. So this is why by multiplying it here on this setup, right, we can combine. Hold on, I'll show you another. So this can be tricky, but it's very it's very mathematical. But so let's say it is 8. It's not sufficient, you see. So what would be sufficient? Well, intuitively, just multiply 4 by 4, and apparently that will suffice, and then check. Indeed, that is largely sufficient. I probably this would also be aligned with the how this is working, and of course then I need to do a wide hold on, wide width tall, so that's another delta that might be handy. And so for now, using the shape keys, and that's it. So these new examples of deltas, folks. Hope that will be coming handy. Please like, subscribe to my channel if you want to support these developments and informational, educational content, folks. See you around. Thanks for watching.